Hi Pisces, welcome to your mid-November 2019 General Tarot Update. It's Raina here. So I'm shuffling the Morgan Greer deck. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh, maybe I'll pick a card from you from The Universe Has Your Back. I've been doing that for some of the readings in the series, and I forgot the last reading to do it. So hopefully I'll remember for you by the time I'm done with this. So the heart of the matter is the Knight of Cups. This is an offer that is given to you by somebody. I think there's a sincerity and sensitivity that is associated with this. And so the two areas that I can think of are work and love. And when we look at the past position, we see the Six of Swords. So kind of like either physical relocation, but just kind of like moving away from a lot of drama in your life. And isn't that always the case? You know, if you decide that you want to make something, if you decide that you care about how you feel when it comes to your environment, it wouldn't surprise me that you would attract somebody else coming in to be of assistance or saying, hey, you know, can you work for me? Can you do this? Can you do that? Because there is that sense of somebody wanting to help you or wanting of your services even. So you're making space for that. And also you're showing the universe that you honor yourself, that you don't want to take some kind of abuse, disrespect, whatever you want to call whatever it is that's going on, and then something else comes along. Same with relationships. This person may be a literal water sign like you, fellow Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. I don't know if this card is assigned to a specific water sign, but that's good enough for me. This can even be like somebody that you're collaborating with artistically, where you have this kind of like rapport and you're doing something artistic in terms of, you know, getting together. Maybe this person's a songwriter and you're a lyricist. I mean, like they write the music and you do that, and who knows? But there's an element of, to me, I kind of connect the dots. I don't deal with these cards in an isolated way. So the Six of Swords would have to figure into that somehow. Unless you do this for a living, where you have an artistic career and you're collaborating with somebody else, I guess that's possible. The higher message is the Page of Pentacles. And so it could be saying, even like on the spiritual level, that the timing is right for a new endeavor on the material level. Also, that, you know, the page deals with messages, and sometimes with Page of Pentacles, this can be a message about some kind of like financial situation. Maybe you get some kind of like job offer that's, you know, you're communicating with somebody. Interestingly, we are going through Mercury retrograde for this timing of this reading, it will be during Mercury retrograde. So perhaps you're hearing back from someone, this offer that you receive is coming from something that you have already applied for, or an old employer, and that's the like going back to somebody else possibly. But this is a spiritual message, so I don't tend to like interpret this in a mundane way. I tend to look at it philosophically. And the Page of Pentacles can also be the student. And so to me, it might be that you are a student of life. I think a lot of Pisces people are. I think you guys, a lot of you are old souls to begin with. And so, the school of hard knocks, in other words, having, this type of kind of like maybe past suffering has allowed you to be resilient, but also to see things at a deeper level than maybe most people do. So when you're dealing with material matters, you're not really, a lot of you may not really be that interested in it from that perspective, because the Pentacles relates to the earth element, and you are compatible with earth signs, but you are very imaginative and otherworldly. So you're not really the kind of person that approaches life from that angle. And so when you communicate things, you have to remember that you're dealing with people who are they can be very earthbound and they don't understand. And if you find that the people that you are dealing with are too many of them are like that, you may not be in the right place. Even if you get an offer that feels very promising. Why did you leave your last job? Why did you want to leave that? It's usually, I think at the end of the day, even more than a monetary issue, it's usually because you feel different than the other people. And that can feel uncomfortable, like you're just, like you don't fit in, okay? And so it's very important to understand that if you don't fit in, you don't want to keep going into situations where that becomes a theme. And so if somebody offers you an opportunity, kind of like probe deeper to see if it's something that will be a good fit for you. What crosses you is the Three of Cups. Oh, and by the way, if this is a love situation, the thing is that there are people who come across in a very romantic way, like the Knight of Cups, but they are really trying to woo you, and in truth, they may be more, how can I put it? Well, they might just be putting on an act, and they know that that's something that would be appealing to you. So if somebody comes along as your savior, as knight in shining armor, that can really be appealing to a Pisces, because if you're, like, for instance, if you're a female Pisces, you might feel like the damsel in distress that needs to be rescued. And that type of person could turn out to be a very controlling person and somebody who has a totally different side to them. A person who approaches you as an equal, not as somebody that needs to be saved and things like that, is going to be somebody that you are much more on an even footing with. The Three of Cups in reverse can indicate somebody has a drinking problem. Yeah, Pisces, you're a water sign, so that certainly could be. But if you have a tendency to meet people in like bars, those type of areas where people have been drinking, you may find somebody who is really not in touch with themselves and is, they use this persona of being like the perfect person because they really are trying to hook you in, but they have their own demons, and this is something that you don't want to get caught up in. So I guess the bottom line is, and this also can be like a womanizer energy too. Or maybe they're just people who they don't want to commit. They just want to, have fun, maybe hang out in the club and not be more of a permanent relationship. Or if they are, if you get married, you're in a permanent relationship, but you're still not really, you're married in name only. So be careful of where you meet somebody, because that could also determine the type of relationship it will be. If it's in that environment where people are just trying to get what they want, they may present themselves in this way. A true gentleman, if you will, if we look at the Knight of Cups that way, is going to treat you as an equal, but also be very kind. And this is not something that they do once in a while in between other types of behavior. So it's good not to get carried away and to just kind of be very vigilant, or aware, I should say, of what the other person does as opposed to what they say. Actions speak louder than words. We know that cliche. What's coming in is the Queen of Swords, and you may have to make that decision, not based on your emotions. The decision I'm seeing for two different people, whether or not to accept an offer. Let's say it's a job offer, but you're not just allowing somebody to appeal to your emotions, because another way of looking at somebody trying to appeal to your emotions is manipulation, where they're presenting something in an overly rosy light that it really isn't like that, in order to get you to do what they want you to do. So you have to be willing to look at things logically, but still make allowances for the fact that you are a water sign and you do want that kind of emotional well-being. You don't want to just be in your mind, whatever the situation is. Like, for instance, in a love situation, the heart has to come into it. You can't just look at something logically and say, well, I think this person's right for me because, and then check off this list. There has to be that emotional connection for sure. But it's just like not pure emotion, not pure logic. Balance. The outcome is the Wheel of Fortune. This is aligning, feeling alignment right now. This card is connected to Jupiter. Jupiter is in your 10th house of career. As I record this, in a couple of days around the full moon in Taurus on the 12th of November, there's going to be Jupiter finally coming out of its shadow, and that will really feel like forward momentum in terms of some of wherever Jupiter is, in your case, the career sector. And so that means that Jupiter is finally going to a higher degree than it has since it even went into Sagittarius. This has to mean something, that that you may finish the year with a bang, professionally, if there has been some kind of like funky energy, because there has been this kind of like these squares to Jupiter, to Neptune, your ruler, and because they're both in mutable signs. And that's another reason why I have high hopes for 2020, because that Jupiter Neptune square will be history, and actually we're going to have a sextile. And I think having Jupiter in Capricorn will cut out some of the excessive qualities that Jupiter is known for, because yes, you can have too much of a good thing. Indulgence or waste, which Jupiter can be known for, excess, is the antithesis of what Saturn is all about. And Saturn is the ruler of the sign of Capricorn. So having them together in one package, I think, can be the best of both worlds. So enjoy this kind of boost to your career, this energetic period for the next few weeks until Jupiter goes into Capricorn. And I wish you all the best, Pisces. If you would like a personal reading, my website is rainamoonastrology.com and the link is below. Take care. Bye.